Record.
So then,
Sir,
hello,
muted. Hello.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir, can hear you.
What time is only 7 have joined, 5 have joined already.
Yes, sir. At 2:30, we are starting, sir. I'll put a message in the group again.
బైక్ సెట్ అవుతుంది.
So am I audible to everybody? Can anyone confirm if I'm audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, thank you, sir. So good afternoon, all. I wish everyone a happy new year. So to begin with a good start, so in the first half, we'll have Dr. AP Achar with us. He'll be giving an overview about the program. Then in the second half, CA Ullas Kamath sir will join us at 3:15. So he will be taking over. So Achar sir, I request you to.
Good afternoon to all of you. Again, wish all of you a very, very happy new year. We are getting into the second phase of Agent Development Program. We have 15 participants in this program. Out of that, 3 are student and 12 are faculty members. And again, sector-wise, 5 healthcare and 6 agri-tech and remaining other sectors. This program is very, very important because this 8th session, I'm sure all of you have gone through this session content. Today, second, we're talking more about developing an entrepreneurial mindset. Then Saturday, we have business model canvas. This is very, very important. That's another take a session. And unless you don't visualize the business model for your proposed product and enterprise, you get into a wrong road. So you have to spend a lot of time on this for this session. Maybe if you want more on that, we can organize a second session on this also. Some of you may find it very difficult to understand some of the technical terms used in this model canvas. You can ask for another session, a separate one-to-one discussion also. Third session is on customer discovery and identify target market. So all these products and services are meant for a customer. You have to identify this your proposed product or service for whom, which segment of the customer. It is always a value proposition. You had a session in bootcamp regarding the value proposition. So if the customer has to give money and what value you can exchange with them. So you have to define it properly and communicate it to customers. Then MVP for your minimum viable product for your startup. This is also very, very important. Once you understand the concept of your product and develop a prototype. So MVP is also very, very important. And next point session is a continuation is the product pricing and market offers. So pricing is again a strategy. There are different strategies for offering pricing. If you look at a market, there's a wide variety of pricing strategies. You have to pick up one or two which is suitable to you. So we have a Navin Akur, a well-known brand strategist, marketing expert, will take in session. Go to market and making your first sales. This is very, very important. Customer discovery and making your first sales gives you a lot of confidence. T. Prasad is a professor at IM Mumbai, a trainer in startup. Is a mentor of his in it also. He'll be taking session. And by the end of this pre-incubation program, you must create your own legal entity. So, what are the formalities? What are the requirements? We have a session on that. Chetan Naik is the company secretary. So, he will, is a practicing company secretary. He will brief you about you have to create your own enterprise, what is the legal process, and all those things. Then, once you're done with all those things, you have to build a pitch deck and a presentation. Normally, it's 6 to 10 slides. What is your business is all about regarding all those your MVP, market offering, and all those things. Then storytelling and telling the story of your product and your company to external world, basically to stakeholders like investors, customers, funding agencies, and all. This is a brief overview, and anyone who remains absent for more than 2 sessions will be removed from the program. So quantity is not important for us. So quality is also important. And another announcement is that today the Netty management agreed to give you 2.5 lakh for product development. Out of 15, 10 will be picked up for grant of 2.5 lakh. And from this 10 will be from our side, we'll be giving a grant of 5 lakh for, sorry, 10 lakh for 5 startup from Nidhi Prayas. We are already in discussion with the Nidhi Prayas. Plus, we are also in the process of getting funding from HDFC and the CSR funding for Meditech. We are on 5 Meditech startup. If you do well and develop a good prototype, if you're able to tell your story in an interesting way, you may get another 10 lakh from HDFC CSR funding also. This is all about funding. This 8 week, what is expected is you have to develop a prototype, a look-like product, understand where your customers are, what kind of value you can add on to customers, and your legal entity has to be created. It could be private, it could be LLP or private limited. There are only 2 options for you. As you're looking for a grant and other seed fund from the government of India, only option available is LLP or private limited, but it requires minimum 2 co-founders. Now we have one-man company also, but we don't advise to start one-man company. It has to be minimum two co-founders, and ideally the co-founder should not exceed 5. Ideally 3, but it can go up to 5 co-founders, not beyond that. There's no restrictions, but our experience shows that more the co-founder there will be some problems. So once we complete this, the next third phase is the incubation. To join the incubation program, you need to have a legal entity and you need to have a functional product. You are ready to go to market. So by March or April, all of you will go for the incubation program, and there'll be one-to-one mentoring in the incubation program. Will be market connect. Will help you to get funding also. A lot of support is available when you join incubation program. The first session today is developing entrepreneurial mindset. I think all of you are aware that in India, every day 10,000 startups are registered, out of which around 80% fail. One of the main reason for the startup to fail is this entrepreneurial mindset. I'll just take you through some of the competencies which are required for entrepreneur before Ullas Kamat joins to share his experience as an entrepreneur. Is my screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
See, there is a saying, there is an argument that whether entrepreneurs are born or made. Entrepreneurs are not born, they're made. But everybody cannot become entrepreneur. To become an entrepreneur, you need to have certain skill sets. We call it as a competency. Competency is 3 parts: skill, knowledge, and motivation. It's called attitude. So in 1960, there was one research done by David McLennan. He did a study for 7 long years in India to find out what makes an individual to be a successful entrepreneur. He went to Kakinada. Kakinada was that time was best known for entrepreneurship in India, and best known entrepreneurs came from this region. So he studied a lot of failed entrepreneurs and successful entrepreneurs and found out that to become an entrepreneur, one should have some 15 competencies. Research also says that all Indians have these competencies, but they have to be activated because we are subject to colonial rule for 200 years. A very defective education system. We have a very negative environment. Because of that, our entrepreneurial spirit was not activated during the course of study, even in employment also. But once you are aware that what are these competencies, then you'll automatically be able to consciously able to activate it. One competence is initiative. Initiative is taking action that goes beyond the job requirement. I think all of you have initiative was joined this program because as a professor or teaching faculty, you teach, evaluate, write papers. This is your normal job requirement. But 12 of you choose to do something beyond the job requirement. That is an initiative taken. Nobody has asked you to do it. Nobody has, the situation not forced you to do it, but you took voluntarily. This is called initiative. I'm happy that all this participant of this startup mentor program have this quality as a competence. This is a behavior. It is visible with all of us. All of you have this. You need to continue it. Even when you start this enterprise also, there are certain things which has to be done as per the requirement. But you need to go beyond that and
Hello, sir. I think there is some issue with the network. I'll just. You will be joining back. There is some issue with the network.
am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Sorry for disturbance. Sorry, the power went off. Seeds and acts and opportunities. As I told you that out of 15, 10 will be given 2.5 lakh. And out of 10, 5 will be given for 10 lakh grant. This is an opportunity. And how do you encash this? So whenever, every time when you look at an opportunity, you work towards it, seize an unusual opportunity to obtain financing, equipment, land, workspace, and assistance. Normally, they'll not go with the beaten path. They always look at a new way of getting things done, new way of purchasing, and new way of getting funds also. They always keep their eyes and ears open. They read a lot of articles, talk to people about their product, about the market, understand a lot of information about the business. And whenever an opportunity comes, I told you a lot of funding opportunities available, and they look at this opportunity and see this opportunities. This is another important quality of friend, and this is the important quality of an entrepreneur, persistence. So when you are On the way to reach your goals, you will come across lot of problems. One of our startup faculty startup registered with us only. So they hired one CEO. They made him as a director also, but within 2 months it disappeared. So what to do? They started calling him. He was not responding the calls. So after 1 month, they came to me that so we're not calling him, but he is not responding. What to do? Shall we stop? Then they said, without him, we cannot continue because it's a legal obligation. We cannot remove him also. It's a DIN number. If they repeat the same action of calling, the problems will not be solved. So you must take a repeated but different actions. And I told him go to his home. There's a address, residential address. Go to his place, find out he was in house only. Very peculiar person. He agreed to be a CEO, got in number. Suddenly he lost interest and went. So whenever you come across a problem, you're doing a repeat same action again and again. You must go for repeated action. It could be customer acquisition, it could be facing competition, it could be suppliers management. Whenever you come across a problem, instead of doing a repeated action, you must do different action to achieve the goals. Next is information seeking. I told you that today one of the critical success factor for any enterprise is information. When you talk about enterprise, it is not just about your market, you must also talk about your competitors. When I give an advertisement Udayavani, I get a call from Vijay Karnataka. So who read the Udayavani first? All this uh, Vijay Karnataka fellows will read Udayavani first in the morning, then they read Vijay Karnataka. So you must have more information about the competitors than your enterprises. So update information about what entrepreneurs, what the competitors do, you must update yourself. Second is the government policies. The government policies keep changing every year, sometimes every quarter also. You must update yourself. A lot of funding options are available. So I told that HDFC is coming out with a CSR funding for Meditech. If you're coming out with any device for healthcare, you'll be given a CSR grant of 10 lakh. The price is coming. From January, a big grant of 50 lakh is available. So all this information is available in the public domain or with the ASNET. They would make a very conscious effort to get information about the fund. Then customer does a personal research about customers' pain point, what customers expects, and what is their preferences, at what prices they're buying this product now. Will they able to pay more if any direction given to them? So all this information seeking is very, very important. If you don't seek information about your market, your competitors, suppliers, and uh, market conditions, then you're completely lost. This is a behavior, this is a competency, and this is most important for every businessman to become successful. Uh, Normally, see when a lot of events happen regarding the startups, business events, business BNI events, conferences, seminars. So normally we don't get a time to attend this, nor we don't have interest to attend this. So every time when I attend these seminars, conferences, the business events, you get a lot of information about the business ideas, you get a networking also. In concern for high quality of work, you are developing a product now. When you are developing a prototype or POC or a product, you must give highest importance for quality, called zero defect. Zero. If you are not aiming at producing a zero defect product, then you'll have a problem. Now we have a global market. All products coming from international market, they have 100% quality product. There's no defect at all. So once your processes, your product, your policies, everything has to be zero defect or defect free. Once you have a focus on the quality of work and so work towards developing zero defect product or a process, then you'll have a very good success chance of it. You become success very, very high. So compare your own work with companies' work related to others, what others do. So you are doing particular activity, you're going through processes. It also find out what the benchmarking with the best practices we call it as. So Tata's always compare with other steel manufacturing company in the world and update it. And when look at the medical colleges of today, we have 6 medical colleges in the region. Each medical college will compare itself with other medical colleges, benchmark some of the best practices, and learn from others. So once you have a high level of concern for quality of work, then you'll the chance of getting success very high. This is another important quality of an entrepreneur: commitment to work contract. Once you make a promise to attend this pre-innovation program, it is given to well in advance. You will always fulfill these promises. This commitment is always between a gap between promise and performance. Normally, people will not adhere to the promise they make, but if you're a businessman or a successful entrepreneur, whatever promise you make to customers, you must fulfill it. If you fail to do this, you will completely lose the market. So many times you make a personal sacrifice or expend extraordinary effort to complete a job. Once you make a promise to somebody to deliver a product in a particular time, or you promise certain utilities or value of the product, and if the product doesn't have that utility or a value, then you lose the market. So it must be extremely careful while making promise to customer that what are the values you're offering, what the deadline at which you're offering product. This is the behavior again. So most businessmen, if you look at, I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs come in meeting in the 2:30 appointment, 2:30 sharp they come in meeting. Those who are not entrepreneurs, 2:30 will come at 3:30. Some of them, one fellow came at 6:30 last week. So they have no respect for time. They leisurely make promise but never fulfill that. But if you are want to develop yourself as an entrepreneur, one of the most important qualities commitment to work contact. Whatever promise you make to people, it may be small or big, you must always adhere to these promises. You must fulfill your promises. So that is how is like Harsha today in this region is there are so many retail market now, Sojas, Girias, now Reliance also. But Harsha still business is growing. One of the reason is that upsell service. If the salesman says he'll come at 5 o'clock, he'll come at 3:30 and get the deliver the services. So but others they say come tomorrow, they come every 2 days. But Harsha is only company which provides after service as per their promises. Whatever they promises they make, they perform it. Efficiency is another important. Efficiency is all about the ratio between input and output. When you talk about input, one of the very important input is time. So are we taking less time and get more output? Resources, money, material, time, effort. If we're able to get a maximum output from minimum input, then you achieve efficiency. So always you must record the what is the cost, that is input. Input is a cost, output is a benefit. So express always concern about the cost versus benefit. All your activities, all your actions, you must thoroughly evaluate what is the cost, what is the benefit. The cost has to be less, benefit has to be more. This is efficiency is all about ratio between input and output. The input is resources. In the resources, most important resource we forget is time. The time is the most valuable resources. Second is money. Third is effort. Fourth is material. So we need to have a very good understanding of what is going as an input and what we get as an output. This is called efficiency orientation. Then problem solving. So we come across many problems when you run an enterprise. So when you come across a problem, you how do you solve it? Some problems you cannot solve it. It becomes a part of your life. Uh, Problem solving always requires switching to an alternative strategy to reach a goal. We're going in a particular way, but this the present present strategy is not working out, then go to a different strategy. Then there's new ideas, innovative solutions. Problems repeat, but solution will not repeat. So same problem, if it comes next year, a customer satisfaction. What customer want this year is different from what customer want maybe after 6 months. You must always do a research and what customers want, why they're switching from your business to other business. Do a research and find a solution to this. This is another important quality of a businessman, systematic plan. All of us have 24 hours of time. Bill Gates also 24 hours. We also have 24 hours. And how do you use this plan or use this time is very, very important. Scheduling. So planning is all about 5W, 1H. 5W is first thing is what is to be done in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year. So yearly planning. We'll not do plan more than a year. When you prepare an yearly plan, you decide what is to be done in the year of 24 for your business, maybe your teaching, maybe your personal life. So planning, there are two things here. One is planning, second is systematic planning. Planning 5W, one is what is to be done in a day. Second is why it is to be done. You must always ask why 5 times. Why I'm doing this business? Why I'm having this product? Why I'm acquiring this customer? Any action when you do, they must always ask. Japanese always ask why 5 times. Why I'm doing this? Third is who is doing it. Very, very important. Am I as a co-founder, am I doing myself or do I appoint somebody to do it? We have few startups which are very high potential to grow, but not doing because the co-founders themselves do all the routine work of going to bank, depositing cash to banks, writing mails. If a product innovator start doing all this work, he'll not grow. You must find out who is the right person to do it and appoint that person. Then where is to be done? Next question that are we doing, are we hiring a place, are we buying an own place, which is to be, which place are doing the business initially? Like we provide co-working space. You can work here for 11 months and then go to the own place. So once you decide on then how it's to be done, H is about how it's to be done. Once you write down all these things, what is to be done, who has, why is to be done, where is to be done, how it's to be done, then a lot of activity you list down, then do it sequentially. That is called systematic planning, which has to be done first. Like before registration of a company, you must find out who are the co-founders, what is their commitment to this. When you do a lot of preparation, then go for a company registration. There, a lot of sequential activities would happen. You must find out which has to be done first. Only when you have a minimum viable product, then only you have to go for a registration of the company. Normally, what people do is they register a company first, then work toward develop prototype, then go for a minimum viable product. So the sequential activity planning is also about developing alternatives. Like we have an alternative going for a private limited or LLP, so which is good. So each alternative has to be evaluated. You can consult experts also, then take a decision. Self-confidence is very, very important because as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, he has to confront a lot of problems, lot of difficulties, and you lot of wrong advice also comes in the way. You have to stick with own judgment in the face of adversities and express confidence. And one of the reason why Indian entrepreneurs are not so successful because the fear of failure, the fear of failure. But if you're a journey of a startup, your failure is always respected. So most of the companies now hire those graduates who failed as an entrepreneur. So failure is not a setback. There are a lot of learning happens in the failure. So self-confidence is in case of adversities, you don't lose faith on your abilities. You still go ahead. You may fall down once, still stand up and go further. Normally, when people fail, when they think that people may criticize it, they lose confidence in their ability, they lose confidence in the product itself, and they close down the company. So has a strong belief in self and own abilities and keep moving. Even if you fail also, there is no negativity in fail. Failure is a part of the business journey. Does something that says risky. So as an entrepreneur, always do risky things. You'll not go with the normal ascertainties confronts problem and issues others directly. So many times you face a lot of different opinion with your co-founders, with your suppliers, with your employees.
There is some power cut, so we'll join back soon.
Please connect ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ. Hello, sorry, some disturbance.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
This is another presentation. Let me close this. Which one? Hello. So these competencies all of us have, but we need to be conscious that these are the qualities which are required. And ascertainness, many times we confront with a lot of negative thoughts, negative ideas. If we don't confront it with our point of view, then we'll be saying yes to everything. So especially customers will argue with a lot of things regarding your price, regarding your value proposition, regarding your delivery terms. So you have to tell them in such a way that what is acceptable to you, and to convince them that even price many times. See, price
Your
is
screen
always.
is not shared, sir.
Hello.
Sir, your screen is not shared.
We'll share it 1 minute. There is some technical issue with the. There's a power goes off and then it's disconnected to laptop. Just a minute. What time Ulaskamth is joining? Siddharth?
3:15 he has mentioned. 3:15.
Okay. Please let me know when he joins.
Sure, sir.
So assertiveness is very, very important because many times there will be a lot of difference opinion between the co-founders, and whatever your ideas and your thoughts, you must not. It's not aggressiveness. It is assert. There's a difference between aggressiveness and assertiveness. Aggressive, you put across your point with a lot of dominance and making other person to accept it. Assertiveness is you agree with other person also, but you put across your point of view very strongly and make other person to convince it, not forcing your ideas with others, but making them to understand what is your point of view. Uh, this is always this ascendance always comes with self-confidence and your information knowledge about the product. Whenever you go for a discussion with your investors, you even when you come for this 2.5 lakh grant also, we'll ask you why you want 2.5 lakh. So you must also effectively put across your point of that why you want 2.5 lakh, or when you ask for a 5-10 lakh grant for 5 startups. So normally the person who gives fund always gives a lot, less amount of money, but you have to put across your point of view. They may argue in a way, in a different way than your point of view, but in spite of that, you're not agreeing to them. You say that I agree with that point, but this is what I feel is what requirement. So this is one of the point which initially all entrepreneurs has to acquire this qualities of getting into assertive discussion. What is the connect ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? Sure. Next important, very important quality which an entrepreneur should develop is persuasion. Again, in continuation of the earlier competencies. So, assertiveness should also lead to persuasion. Convincing someone to buy a product or services, convince someone to provide financing, convince someone to do something else that he would like that person to do. So when you work with a founding team or with your HR team, so you need to, instead of forcing them to do it, it's always better to persuade them to do the thing that you wanted to do. Asserts own competence, reliability, or other personal competencies. Use of influence strategies. This is another which is highly individualistic, and there is no standard method of how to influence others to to agree with your point of view. But normally, all businessmen do the strategies. Hello, sir. Just zero ಹಾಕಿ sir ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Zero ಹಾಕಿರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, just number. Put it some zero, any number you can put it. So Ullas Kamath is joining. I will take once I share his experience, I'll continue this later.
Okay.
Ullas Kamath is the has joined now. Ullas Kamath.
Not yet, sir. He'll be joining now.
We'll take a session for half an hour. Then we'll have a question and answer with him. Then I'll continue with my session. He's
Sure.
extremely busy. He's traveling, so we need to postpone this session from 4:30 to 3:15.
Okay.
But again, please understand, this is not just information sharing. This is for you to understand the journey of an entrepreneur, what kind of preparation, mental preparation you have to make to step into the journey of an entrepreneur. You'll be shortly registered in companies. You'll be co-founder, you'll be MD, chairman of a company. And to do that role, you need to have a different kind of skill sets. Is joined now? Show them.
Yes, sir. He has joined.
Hello, Ullas Kamath sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
The brief background of the participant.
Yeah.
We have started a program called Nette Young Entrepreneurs Development Program.
Hmm.
We got around 104 entries, registration entries. Out of that, we from to boot camp to 15. Out of 15 participants, 12 are professors and 3 are students. So this is a 8-week program, pre-incubation program. During this program, they have to develop the prototype, MVP, and create their own enterprise. It's a second phase of the program. First was boot camp. So they could validate, they develop POC. So this stage, they're developing the prototype. They're giving them a 2.5 lakh, a small grant to develop prototype. When they come out with it, we give them a 10 lakh grant also from NIT University. So NIT University want to promote both student and faculty startup in the campus. This is the background.
Okay.
So brief question about Ullas Kamath is presently the working as a co-founder of UK & Co at Bangalore. He is also the chairman of Ullas Kamath Center for Family Business. Before that, he was a most celebrated corporate executive at Jyoti Labs. As a joint MD, he converted a 10,000 a family enterprise into a billion-dollar company, and traveled across the world, the most sought after speaker both in academia and industry. He has half a dozen qualification: CA, MCA, MBA, MCOM, now PhD doctoral program. Now all this program, he was a gold medalist. Hopefully in PhD also will get gold medal from the university. So we're proud of your achievement and your qualification, and our participant look forward to uh, your experience sharing on as an entrepreneurial journey.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for your kind introduction, and welcome to all the student entrepreneurs who wants to become entrepreneur. There's a nice thing to have entrepreneurship mindset, and what you need to do, and how you need to do, and what is required from your side. And I'll talk about 20 minutes, then another 10 minutes I'll take the Q&A, and I'll close maybe by 3:50. So one is that India is different India, what you have seen 10 years back, 20 years back, 30 years back, 40 years back. And India now celebrating 76 years of its independence. And in any country, 75 years is a very, very small number of years when you take that way, because generally countries, we see 50 years, 100 years, 150 years, 200 years, 250 years, like that. In that way, post-independence, India 75 year is, I would say that it is in the UKG or the first standard or second standard, if you see as a country. And what country has done in the last 75 years has been fantastic. And just to give you some numbers, that when we got the independence, we had 35 crore population, and we were short on food supplies, and we were depending at that point in time for food grains from the developed countries. And we used to get that, and we are all witness to that. When I was going to the school, I used to eat the upma sent by Rawa by all American or European countries. So country was short of food supply when we got the independence, and 35 crore population. Now we are 140 crore population. We are food surplus now, and we are sending the food grains. Not only we are giving food grains to 54% of the population, every person 5 kilos per month to the 54% population. We are giving it free for the last 24 months, and we are continuing for other 1 more year. So that means to say that country has so much of surplus that we can give free to 54% of 140 crore population. Second, we are the biggest donors of the grains to North African countries and other countries where they have the problems of food safety. We are sending it. And that is on food security. The second one is that when we got independence, the average life expectancy was 31 years in India. That means that most of the people would not have seen their grandparents because it's the average 31 years. Now that is now at 70 for male and 69 for female. And this is the advancement happened in the medical side. And why this is very important to know is that what happens to the next 25 years is the most important phase in a country like India's life. And these kind of opportunities, what we see in the next 25 years, probably you get in once in 200, 300 years. You don't get in every century. Very, very difficult to this kind of a phase, because median age is 27 years, and 65% of the population are under 35, and 60% of the population is earning. And by 2050, probably we start aging a little bit, but till then we will be able to be under 30 age in the median from now on. And fertility rate has come down drastically. One way it is good, one way it is not. But if you take all India at 2.6 and Southern India at 1.9, somewhere we are managing the population, but it will not be growing at the way how we are seeing the growth in 60s or 70s or 80s. Keeping this in mind, now the technology disruption which is happening, which all of you are witness in the last 10 years, and which is happening on a daily basis to your life. Technology has become a disruptor in the personal life, in the business life, and everybody's life. So it is transforming the technology and transforming the life is what we can talk about. So anything which you are getting into the business now, chance of success is relatively high when compared to 60s or 70s or 80s. And today, most of the jobs are taken over by the technology. So you do not have a repetitive kind of a job like a clerk or a sanctioning authority or a ticket person who giving the issuing the tickets, person who is collecting the ticket. All this monotonous job will not be there at all, which is not there now. It will not be there in future for sure. So only the decision making jobs will be available, and that good decision where to apply your mind. Such things only will be available at the marketplace. Rest of things will be taken over by artificial intelligence or machine learning, robotics, and everything will replacing the human intervention in decision making. And any business which you are in now, everywhere technology is taking a major role. In finance, it will become a fintech company. In health, it will become health tech company. In education, it will become edutech company. In agriculture, it will become agri-tech company. In floriculture, it will become floritech company. So whichever the way you see the categories, everywhere technology is doing the disruption, and such businesses are doing extremely well. And why that next 25 years is very important for all of you is that you are now in the early stage, and most of you will be in late 20s. And for you, the next 25 years will be doing the right thing, and you should be doing in the right way so that you'll get the right results. So what works in India is that first is the entrepreneur should know that becoming an employer is difficult. Employee is easy because if you don't like the job, you can change the job. But when you are an employer, you cannot keep changing your businesses because you will be establishing as an entrepreneur and your brand is involved, your name is involved. So you can't keep closing your business and start a new business because finally nobody will be with you. So one is that becoming an employer is a long-term commitment. And what do you mean by long-term commitment is that you need to know what business you are going to be in, and how disruptive that business is going to be. What is the use of that business for a common man? What is the need gap you are going to fill it? And how better you are, how much cheaper you are, how much effective you are, how much efficient you are, and what makes the difference to the life of the people. Only such businesses will survive. You cannot start one more detergent company. You cannot start one more toilet soap company. You cannot start one more toothbrush company. You cannot start one more shampoo company because enough shampoos are there, toothbrushes is there, toothpaste are there, soaps are there, and people are not waiting for your product unless it is disruptive in nature. So the disruption is what is better, what is cheaper, what is faster, what is technically, it has a scalable, it appeals to the local, it appeals to the global audience. Such things are the one which makes. And any business which you have technology along with that, then probably chance of success is high. So entrepreneur mind is, I am here to make the difference in a small way to the consumer, either through products or through the services. And both of them should be the new in the way in which you are delivering it, and they should feel wow factor. They should get that wow factor as a consumer, either your products or your services. And for that, you should be knowing what product or service you are getting into, and you should also know that how much does it cost to create that wow factor in the consumer's mind, and what is the trade-off and what is the payoff. So how long it takes and how do you go about. So first, for the entrepreneur is to make a proper business plan. You will have done the pilot study, you will have done the consumer research, you will have taken the consumer feedback, you will have done all those things which are required, and finally you will have come to a stage wherein that, okay, now I launched a product or services, and then please write a business plan. Business plan should take the upside and the downside and the risk and the mitigation, what you are going to do with the risk. That mitigation plan has to be there, and we call it as a go-to-market strategy. So you need to know how do you go to the market, whether you go for the entire region or you go only for the top 10 cities, or you go only for tier 1 cities, or you go only for tier 2 cities, or you go everywhere together, or you go from one end, you'll reach the other end later. So this go-to-market strategy has to be there very neatly. For example, if you are in Karnataka, Karnataka can be divided into coastal Karnataka. Karnataka can be called the northern Karnataka, Karnataka central Karnataka, and Karnataka southern Karnataka, and Bangalore can be a totally different market. So if you want to enter the market in Karnataka, my recommendation would be that if you are good in coastal Karnataka, then you concentrate only coastal Karnataka first for the maybe 1 or 2 years, and after seeing the success, then you can go to central Karnataka, northern Karnataka, and then you can come to Bangalore. Or you launch in Bangalore, if you see success in Bangalore, then you can go to other places probably in the coming years. So the go-to-market strategy, if you are fixed very nicely, then you need to know the product or service and what we call it as the unit economics. The unit economics, once you get it, based on the scale what you have, the unit economics will change, because whenever the volume changes, the unit economics will come down, and that is to the advantage of the entrepreneur. So you need to know that what is the unit economics you are working, and what is the scale advantage you get over a period of time, at what volume you break even, at what volume you start making money, and what volume you start making the real good money because of the scale advantage what you have. In other words, scale advantage is that when you produce one truck, the cost will be X. And if you produce 5 trucks, that becomes X minus. And if you produce 100 trucks, that becomes X minus, 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 minus. That's the scale advantage, what you get. So as an entrepreneur, one, you need to know product, service, scalability, what technology can be adaptability for the technology, and then you need to build a team for that. And a management team, a small management team is required, maybe 2, maybe 3 people is required, because every problem cannot be attended by one entrepreneur, because then it becomes sole proprietorship. So you need to have a small set of people who can be a part of the initial team, maybe 2 or maybe 3, and one could be in technology, one could be in finance and administration, and one could be in probably sales and marketing and all the other aspects of the running of the business. And generally we call them as the co-founders, so that 2-3 people together, you can discuss the things internally, and then you'll be able to take an appropriate decision, which will not be a single-minded decision, which will be a collective decision of 2 or 3 people. And to run a good business, you need to have good mentors, because mentors who have come with an experience, they will be able to explain what has gone wrong in the past in their life, or what they have read about somebody doing wrong in somewhere in some other country or some other part of the country. So they will be able to share their experience of both good and bad, and they'll be able to share their success and failures, and they are also able to explain to you others' success and failures, so that you don't have to repeat it all over again. Because of these mentors or advisors, you'll be able to take probably a more calibrated decision if you want to implement some of your thinking. So a good mentor, good advisor is a must for your business. And not necessarily that you should have only one. You can have 2 or 3 or 4. Probably for tax, you can go to somebody else. For marketing, you can go to somebody else. For technology, you can go to somebody else. For operations, you can go to somebody else. Supply chain, you can go to somebody else. Logistics, you can go to somebody else. So you can have many mentors, then not necessarily that you should have only 1 or 2 mentors. So more you have, so you can use them as a sounding board for your business issues. Once you have have product or service in place, when you have unit economics in place, when you know what's the scale advantage, then you have the go-to-market strategy right, then you have the mentors, then you have advisors, then you need to develop the sales or marketing team, and you should start thinking about building the brand of a corporation or the building the brand of the product or the services. And that's something which you'll know over a period of time. Either you are an expert or you need to go for an expert. If you are an expert, you can do on your own. If you are not, then probably your core competence, if it is not marketing, then you need to engage a marketing agency to help you to develop that probably the artwork or the designs in such a way that the product or the packaging will be as good as the product inside. So once you have the product, once you know the what promotion, once you know what the placement, once you know that you have the people, right kind of people to work with you, generally the entrepreneur, your time will be spent, 50% of the time you spent on the business, another 50% you spend on managing the people. Because machines will not talk, the process will not talk, but the people talk. If you do well, they talk good about you. If you're not doing well, they talk negative about you. So you need to know how to manage the people around you. Manage, when I say manage, what I mean is that you should keep everybody in high spirit. If something is not doing well also, you should be able to talk to the people as a captain that it's okay, tomorrow could be a better day, day after tomorrow could be a better day. So you need to give them the confidence and you need to build their morale, and you should be able to tell them saying that don't worry, whatever happened has happened, but we can see a better light tomorrow. So to that extent, you become an internal motivator within the organization so that people do not lose hopes on themselves or on the business. Both are detrimental to the organization. So once you have the people, then you go to the market, then you see the success. If it is not, then try once again. If not, then you see what has gone wrong, which you call it as a consumer insight. Before launching the product, you should do the consumer insight. After launching the product or services, you should do the consumer insight. That why that people are buying, you should know. Why people are not buying, you should know. And why people have lapsed after buying first or second time, why they have left, that you should know. So overall, you know, trial and error, what works, what doesn't work, what price it works, what price it does not work, what kind of promotion it appeals, what kind of promotion you don't appeal. With that, your business plan, you will do all the changes what is required based on a small sample place like coastal Karnataka. You fix everything, then go all over Karnataka. Once you go all over Karnataka, if you see the success, then go to the neighboring state like Tamil Nadu, Andhra, and Telangana and Kerala together. And once you see the success in southern states, then you can go to all India. This I'm telling you, presuming that you are in the consumer space. But if you are in a service space, if you are only in the internet, if you are only doing the e-commerce, then there is no geography. You can go wherever you want to go as long as operationally it is viable to supply the product and services. So overall, entrepreneur mindset is a very, very tough upbringing. And you will not lose hopes on yourself or in a business or on anybody else. And you don't give up so quickly. And you always want to succeed. And any failure, you will not take into your heart and you don't get into depression. Any success, you won't become arrogant. Any success will not affect your mindset. And entrepreneur always should be physically fit. And you should be mentally fit. When I say physically fit, you should be able to run 100 meters in 15 seconds. That is the physical fitness you need, because if you are physically fit, 50% of the problems are solved. And you should be mentally fit, because people should not be able to irritate you. You should not be losing your temper. You should be able to listen to everyone very patiently. You should not lose patience when somebody talks. You should be able to take everybody along. For that, you need to have a good mental fitness. And I also tell that you should be spiritually fit, because you should know who you are, what you are, why you are doing, what you get by doing this business, how good you can be to the society, so that both spiritual and mental fitness will make you to become a good human being, a good entrepreneur. And entrepreneurship is a matter to celebrate, so that you'll be able to celebrate that, okay, I've created 100 jobs, I've created 100, 500 jobs, I've created 1,000 jobs over a period of time. And this is nice for the society to create jobs for the needy people. So in India, just to give a number, we need 1 million jobs every month. And we have a backlog of at least 2 years now. 1 million jobs we need every month, and that continues. And only in the state like Karnataka, we produce 21 lakh graduates every year. While all India, we are 4.7% people are unemployed. In Karnataka, it is 2.6% of people don't have a jobs, and they're all graduates. So this number is based on the PF document. We do not know the real numbers based on the number of graduates coming out of the colleges and the number of people who are enrolled to the employer in PF and ESI. Will be able to see the difference in Karnataka, and compared to the national number, we are far, far better, but long way to go to see that everybody are employed at any point in time. And there is a gap between what you skill and what is required by the market. So the skill alignment or skill upgradation is a must. And for that, each one of you have to study what you are not studied so far. Whatever you have studied in the past, it is okay at that point in time for that particular examination, you are passed out, but that may not be relevant. If somebody is studying in BCom, VAT, or somebody is studying in BCom sales tax, or somebody is studying service tax, it's of no use now because it is a GST regime now. So you need to understand what GST is about. Then you should know what is direct taxes, and you should know what is indirect taxes, and you should know what is the compliance, and you should know the laws of the land. As an entrepreneur, you can't say, I don't know about it, I didn't know about it, nobody told you. All those things are not acceptable, and ignorance is not bliss for an entrepreneur. Ignorance is not bliss, and you need to learn. What you know, you know. What you don't know, you need to learn. What you cannot learn, then you should engage a lawyer or you should engage an expert who will help you to do that. So overall, entrepreneur journey is a long, long journey. Once you're an entrepreneur, rest of your life you're an entrepreneur. Success and failure is a part of the entrepreneurship. The way how we celebrate success, we should also make use of the failure, not to fail once again in the same format. So you learn a lot of things through the failure, and there is a cost to the failure. Like how you have a cost to learn or get an MBA program, there is a cost to learn from entrepreneurship by making small mistakes here and there. Once you analyze why you are successful, you can continue to do that. Once you know why you have failed, then undo the things what you have done and learn. We say that fail quickly, learn quickly, and try to do, try to do the opposite of where you have failed. Chance of success is very, very high. Coming to the startups, success rate at this point in time in India is around 8%. That means 100 startups. If you come, 8 to 10 people will become successful. It doesn't mean that 92% of people are failed miserably. There will be some people short of funds, some people, the technology become redundant. For some people, a team will not be there. Or some people, there will be compliance issues. But overall, we see that success rate around 8%, which is not bad. But going forward, that 8 can become 10, 10 can become 12, 12 can become 15. And I wish all of you are part of that 8% successful startups. For that commitment to your business, and you need to have that competence, and you should also have a great character. And great character, in my priority, character is number 1, competence is number 2, and commitment to the business is number 3. And if you have all these 3 things with you, you will never fail. And you can only succeed if you have all the 3. And when I say character, you don't lie, you don't hide truth, and you should be truthful to yourself and to the business and to the government, and you are compliant, and your physical effect, mental effect, and spiritual effect. That's what I mean by character. You don't smoke, you don't drink, and your health is absolutely should be in a good shape. People don't believe drunkards. People don't believe people go on a weekend and fall asleep and get up on a Sunday in the afternoon. Trust me, if any investor comes to know about it, he don't even put a rupee in your business. So you need to be very, very careful that my character is great, and I don't drink, and I don't fall after drinking, and I get up the next day in the afternoon. If you are, please stop it. If you still want to continue, then better an employee, work for 5 days and drink and sleep Saturday, Sunday. Nobody cares for that. But if you want to become an entrepreneur, no way. And second one in that order is that competence. What you know, what you know. What you don't know, please learn. What you know anyway. But what you don't know, please learn. And when you know what you don't know, you're already in a learning phase. That is the core competence. Keep increasing that. Learn at least 2 more languages in the coming years. Whatever the languages you know, it's good, but learn a couple of more languages. It will help you to manage your employees, to manage your vendors, to manage the system, manage the ecosystem. It will help you if you know a couple of more languages. If you're in South India, it will be much, much better for you to have, apart from English, Hindi, and Kannada, and your mother tongue, please try to learn a couple of languages from the neighboring state. It will help you. And the commitment should be there to the organization. If you don't have the commitment, hello?
Yeah, you are audible, sir. You're audible. You can go ahead.
But I can't see any of you. You can see me? I
Yes,
can't
sir.
see.
Yeah, you can go ahead. You're audible.
Okay, so that is on the last part was the commitment to the organization. You need to have the commitment to the organization, to the business. Only when you have the commitment, long-term commitment, then the employees, your colleagues, or people with your associated with the company will have the long-term commitment, and that is a must to build an organization. And that's what the entrepreneur mindset is all about. And there's a way how I did my business in the last 30 years, and I continue to do the same way. And I'll take the questions if you have any questions, maybe for next 10 minutes. Thank you, Achar sir, for the opportunity to talk to the budding entrepreneur.
Any questions, please can unmute and ask questions, or you can type in the message box. Next 10-15 minutes for question and answer. It's a rare opportunity for you to interact with Dr. Ullas Kamath shortly. I see you, Ullas Kamath.
Yes.
Ullas sir, thank you. I'm Dr. Manoj from NMIT. Am I audible?
Unmute yourself and talk.
Yeah, Dr. Manoj.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was nice listening to you, sir. We have got a very gem of a resource. 20 minutes. It was a very informative session. I need to know what is the strategy to gather a team which can accomplish the task at hand.
Yeah, very good question. If you are in a class, if there are many people who are following you, then you are a leader. But as a child, if you don't have many friends, as a student, if you don't have any friends, and you don't know what to do on a Saturday, Sunday, then it's very, very difficult to attract the team, because you're not a team builder, then you're more like a team member. So one thing is very important is that to build a team, people should start liking your way of doing the business, and they should like you as a human being, and they should see transparency in you, that you are here to share, you are here to care, and if a person who says that if we win, it is because of the team, if we lose, it is because of me, and that kind of a person you should be. I always tell people that team wins, but if team loses, it's you who have built the team has lost, not the team. And every loss, you should be able to shoulder that, and you should motivate the people. And it's okay, it happens. I'm the responsible for that. You don't worry about it. Like a headmaster, you should say, okay, results belongs to me. I'll take care of it. A class teacher, students are not doing well. Teacher will say, okay, next time I'll ensure that the students will do well. So somewhere you should get that leadership by default, and you should work towards that. Then you'll get people will get attracted to you, towards you as a good human being, as a great leader. I want to follow him. Why will people follow you? They follow you because they believe in you. Why will they believe in you? Because you have a transparent way of showcasing your vision, why you are doing that, what do you get out of that, what others will get out of that. And it's where we call it as a sharing and caring with employees. And also any business which you do, Dr. Manoj, it's always good to have, like good for the state, good for the country, good for employees, good for all stakeholders, good for the shareholders, and good for the consumer. So if you have that 4 or 5 big items to tell that it is good for everyone, people will start believing in you, and people start working with you. And if you do walk the talk, then the people stay with you. So it's not only you have the team, build a team, but you should ensure that the team will stay with you. For that, you need to walk your talk, whatever you assured them. And remember, whatever the assurances you give, you should do a little more than that.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I have one more follow-up question. Most of the time, even though I have a team, I end up doing most of the tasks on my own. How to learn the delegation? Most of the time we believe that if we do the task, it is better than to delegate.
Yeah, most of the people will be like you as a perfectionist, but I do not expect anybody to be perfectionist. We are not into heart surgeries. We are into just a business, right? Something goes wrong, the profit will be down by about 1%, 2%. Something goes well, then profit will be 2%, 3% more. So you don't have to really worry to become the best in everything. You should be best in managing the people and managing the process. Rest of the things, it's okay, they learn. Everybody is chapati, you don't have to be round. Chapati is a chapati, right? Shape here and there doesn't matter. End of the day, we eat that. So you should have that generosity in your mind that I don't expect any perfection from anybody because I'm not a perfectionist. And you thinking that only you doing is the right thing itself is a myth. Who knows what you're doing itself is wrong? Because you're the boss, nobody will check that. So the way how I run the business is simple. I get people who are ordinary people and I'll give them the skill sets what is required. And I tell them that you want to learn football. This is the ball, that's your leg. Please start kicking from this end to that end to this end till you become tired. Please play the ball and enjoy playing with the football. Then only they start playing the football. You don't have to really play football in a ground. You can start playing with the ball, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is that take ordinary people, engage them on a daily basis, give them the skill what they do not have, become a teacher, and then ask them to start doing the work. Whenever they make mistake, tell them saying that this is little bit is make changes, and they over a period of time they learn the tricks of the trade, and then they become probably better than you. Why I say better than you is because we know what we know, but they know what they know, plus you tell them what they need to do. So together they are better off than you because you'll have taught them everything what you know, you'll have taught them, and they'll also have some raw material with them. With that, they'll be much, much better. And I thrived in my life by building the team. And I don't do any work. I only make others to work, and I tell them that whatever the way you say, it's fine. Finishing touches, we somewhere here and there will give the finishing touches, but basics we don't do. Like an artist, you should be concentrating on fixing the eyesight rather than making the whole picture. And in a picture, putting the eyesight is very, very critical. Probably that you don't want to outsource or give it to somebody else, but that will take hardly less than a minute to put an eyesight for a good portrait. But we want to keep everything ourselves and we only want to do everything, then you cannot build an enterprise. You can be a sole proprietor.
Thank you.
The mother-in-law concept, you go. Daughter-in-law do everything and mother-in-law put the garnishing and says that she did it, right? No? That's the way position you should take it.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, this is Dr. Ramkumar. Thank you for a nice session. Another faculty having a business thing. Only faculties are talking here. Sir, question is, how do you decide whether you need a partner or an advisor? You know, especially technical projects, or what will be the role of advisors, and how do you narrow down?
Taking a co-founder is only when there is a when there is a need, and the need should be complementing each other, not competing each other. So a co-founder will be a good idea if what you know and what you don't know, if somebody can fit in that, then there will be complementing each other, then there will be no arguments on everyday basis. So to that extent, there is no arguments will lead some point in time. It gives a disharmony. So to that extent, I'll request you to look at the co-founders. Second, what you are sure, but you are not so sure that you don't need anybody. Like taking a paracetamol, you don't even need a doctor. You know that, okay, I'm having a fever, I'll take paracetamol and let me see for 2-3 days. If it does not subside, then I go to a doctor, then he will definitely ask you to take a blood test. And that's where the advisory comes. So that he takes the blood test and he say, oh, it's a dengue or chikungunya or malaria or something else or some infection. Then he'll give the antibiotics. For antibiotics, you need an advisor. But for paracetamol, you don't need an advisor. You can do it yourself, or you can just call up, or you can see the Google, and you will get hundreds of opinions, and you can judge. If there are 4 opinions, you'll be able to make out what is the best suited for you. So to that extent, having advisors who are your well-wishers also will be a good thing to have, to bounce your ideas and take their views. And not necessarily that you should go by what they say, but you also know that there's one other way of doing the same thing. And they also share some experience. So a combination of an advisor and a co-founder, if it is on a long-term basis, if you want to have somebody with you all the time, then it's better to have a person who complements your competence. That will be the good thing to have it, sir.
Thank you, sir. Another question is, when you say no one is waiting for you unless you are disruptive. So we tend to believe I am disruptive, isn't it? I have to gauge myself. Am I truly, disruptive on the current stage? So does that mentorship helps me there? Because I think I am unique or I am very innovative, but how do I validate myself in terms of market reality?
Very good question. In fact, an advisor will not help you whether your project will be successful or not successful. An advisor will tell you that such things have happened in the past in the different domains, and we will have been a part of some success story or a failure story, and he'll start explaining to you from an entrepreneur, like a mindset point of view, not necessarily in your business. And the disruption is, if everyone says that is a great idea, it's not a great idea, please don't do that. Because if everybody thinks that is a great idea, then it's not a great idea. And everybody says that impossible to do that, don't waste your time. Please pursue that. Everybody, including your family members, should say that this will not work. This will not work. We're telling you, stop this. This will not take you anywhere. Including your family members, say that, please bring this project. I'll invest the full money in that. Because only that is called disruption. In a common man language, that is disruption when people don't believe in what you're doing. When the people start believing in what you're doing, then is only that your friends will say that, okay, good luck to you, and probably you're doing something good to do it. And any of the success stories in the past, put this test, then you will know what I'm saying. If somebody were to say that there will be one mobile phone, there will be one app, and you just press there and you get masala dosa in 30 minutes, means you would not have believed that. Today you get it in 30 minutes. Correct? And somebody were to say that, okay, if you have a kurta which is available in Delhi, it is available to you next 24 hours, it's available in Bangalore, and somebody will come and deliver to you your size. If you don't like it, you can give it back and they'll take it back, and no money is charged to you, means you would not have believed that. This is what we are seeing today. Today, when you go, earlier we used to go for a blood test. Sorry. Earlier, for a blood test, full blood work, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people used to charge. Today, it is available at 299 rupees. Now, this is disruption in a limited way in the diagnostic sector. So, any business, any product, any services you're doing, the disruption should happen because of the technology. And whether that will sustain forever, no. Disruptor will disrupt the technology once again. Is the only the disruptor will do the disruption. So that now the business, what we are saying is that the difference between the Swiggy and Zepto, the disruption is 15 minutes delivery. Whether that 15 minutes makes a lot of change in your life, I don't know. But they say they will deliver in 10 minutes grocery. So to that extent, the disruption is limited to the time of 10 minutes, 15 minutes delivery is the disruption. Whether they will survive for the next 10 years, 15 years, I don't know, because somebody else might do it in 10 minutes. We don't know. So to that extent, you need to be very clear that disruption means it is better, it is cheaper, it is faster, it is different, and it is unique, it is scalable, it appeals to the local person, it appeals to the global person. Like Swiggy appeals in US also, Swiggy appeals, Zomato appeals in Australia also, and the delivery what is happening here in delivery in India happens delivery in US also. So to that extent, that works. Like lens card. Ever imagine that? See the computer, we will tell you what your eyesight going to be and the frame would be, and will deliver in 24 hours. And today in US, people go to a store, they'll get the measurement, I mean the prescription for eyesight, and they place the order on a Monday. Thursday, they will deliver the lenses, and they don't know the lens is made and fitted in Noida, and Lenscard supplies that to US. And US person always thought that Monday I'll go to a ophthalmologist, he'll take the measurement and he'll do the testing, and Thursday will deliver. And that's always used to be Monday, Thursday. And this lens card in between is saying that you do that and they send me that as instantaneously. The data is sent to Noida. Noida makes the glasses on the same day and they courier it to them. And Wednesday it is delivered in the US, and Thursday the customer gets it. That is disruption. That's why a lens card is like seen as a different eyewear company. So disruption is something which case to case basis we can discuss.
Yes. Just an add-on question on that. See, any innovation or any what I believe today is a product which I believe will make a difference in health or customer convenience or or many other benefits. But as an innovator, I believe it's an evolution. I add A1, A2, A3. I have many things already in mind. Is that normal to have a pipeline at least in the mind, and I register my company or partner or mentor keeping that in mind, sir? Do I work for one product, or can I think of few products and few related areas? I don't know.
Yeah, I think the latest one, what you have in your mind, what you need to launch. Like for example, iPhone 15 is better than iPhone 14. And iPhone 14 is supposed to be a little better than iPhone 13. So when they launched iPhone 5, they didn't know how the iPhone 15 is going to look like. So if you say in your mind, you know what is going to be product A, A1, A2, A3, A4, then my recommendation is launch A4. Even if it takes 1 year extra, it doesn't matter. Because then you are launching totally different and totally innovative and totally advanced. Don't have to launch A1 and then launch A2, then launch A3. And whatever is the latest, probably ahead of time, it works. It takes longer time, it takes longer money, I mean, deeper pockets, it takes more effort to convince if you are ahead of time. But once you convince, people will treat you like he's always ahead of time. The company is always ahead of time. So that way your premiumization becomes that much easier. So my recommendation is that whatever you have latest in your mind, you launch that.
Thank you, sir. Premiumization. It's a new word. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Premiumization is that when you are learning at Manipal, when you are learning at Wharton, when you're learning at Harvard, when you're learning at LSE, or learning at probably one other, Cambridge or Oxford, the fees are a little different. And the difference in fees is because they pay the professors better, they give the better facility, they get the better guest speaker. That is called premiumization. Because you're studying in Harvard, you get a better placement. So that whatever the premiumization you are paying, and that also, like when they get into the admission in Harvard, they're extremely happy, but they pay more to get in, despite having all the merit. Still, the fees will be higher because your placement, you pay 25% more, but you get 50% more placement with a better salary. So that is called premiumization. And any product or services today, premiumization is where you get a little profitability between ordinary and premiumized product will be anywhere between 20% to 100% range. So it's like to give an example, Nirma is a commodity. It is not a brand. It is a commodity. It is a detergent powder. But when Nirma product is put in Rin, it becomes detergent powder, and Rin then becomes Surf, and Surf become Surf Excel. Surf Excel become Surf Automatic, that is Surfmatic version for the machine. So the machine is 270 rupees a kilo. So same powder in a bucket, it becomes 170. The same, it becomes like a Rin, it becomes a 60 rupees. The premiumization happening because we know that the user is having a washing machine and he is on the top of the pyramid and he can pay 270 rupees a kilo and you make more money there. While the volume will be less, value will be more, and unit wise the profitability will be very high.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. I have few questions. I am overwhelmed. I forgot my questions.
No problem, sir. When I come, where do you earn?
Sir, I'm a pharmacy faculty, sir. I was in R&D in product development.
Okay.
My
Okay.
passion is in health food and healthy.
Perfect. Perfect. When I come to Mangalore next, if you are there around, we'll meet up.
Sure, sir. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. If it is done, then can I go for another meeting, Achar sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
We'll
much.
meet all participants physically once when you're in Manipur.
Sure, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you very much. Wish you a very happy New Year, sir.
Thank you, sir. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, coming back to the entrepreneurial mindset, in continuation of what I told you, I think Vilas Kamath also briefly about the entrepreneurial mindset. It's a journey, it doesn't happen over a day. You need to be conscious about what you're supposed to do as an entrepreneur, different than what a professor or a student has to do. With this, we wind up because I have to go for one more meeting now. I think the instructions are very clear. It's a very intensive 8-session program for incubation. I request all of you to take it very seriously. The recorded sessions also available. It will be given to all of you. And any further clarification, any further assistance required, we'll always help you to help you. Very shortly, we'll select you, maybe midterm review, we'll select you for grant of 2.5 lakh. At the end of 8 weeks, we'll also select you for a grant of 10 lakh each. That is the funding part. That is a very small assistance to you. But on the other side, giving you one-to-one mentoring to develop your product, make it commercially viable and scale up also. Any more questions on this before we wind up today's session?
Good evening, sir. Ram Kumar here again. Sir, when any chances we can meet you or any of your team members?
Yes, sir. You can meet any. Please let me know. I can come to your place, or we can definitely meet. Let me know if free time.
Yes, sir. Or otherwise, other way around. If you are here, please give some appointment to us also.
Sure. I'll be coming to Bangalore this week. I'll meet you definitely.
If you can let us know by our group or something, we can meet you, sir, sometime.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Any other clarification regarding today's session? Take attendance, show them.
Yes, sir. It is noted down.
At least on the same list, you take those are present, those are absent also. If anybody is absent for 2 sessions, remove from the program.
Sure, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you all the participants.
Very happy New Year once again. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.